Well, Mike, ISIL forces have made a successful push and now control an overwhelming part of the town of al-Baghdadi. At the same time, a small band of ISIL forces launched an early morning attack on a nearby sprawling military base where hundreds of U.S. Marines are based and training Iraqi forces. The concern is this could be a foreshadowing of the kinds of attacks the insurgents are going to launch against U.S. forces. Top U.S. military leaders say ISIL troops tried to make their way onto the sprawling Ain al-Assad base in two small bands of forces. The first, 8 or so, attacking ISIL detonated suicide bomb fest. In the ensuing confusion, 24 or so other ISIL troops tried to follow them and push their way onto the base. Iraqi security forces were able to launch a counterattack and kill all the ISIL forces. There are as many as 320 U.S. Marines at the airbase. Their chief mission is to train Iraqi fighters to take on ISIL. And by all accounts, ISIL attackers did not make it anywhere near the U.S. troops. U.S. officials did say even though the Marines are there to offer training, if fired upon, the Marines would return fire. The U.S. Pentagon spokesman says this latest assault comes at a time when ISIL forces had been stalled for months.
This is arguably the first in at least a couple of months, if not more, where they have had any success at all at taking any new ground. So this is an enemy that we still assess to be in a defensive posture. You know, it's one town. It's not all of Anbar. It's not all of Iraq. We need to keep it in perspective.
Now, al-Baghdadi is located in the Anbar province along the Euphrates River. The air base is very close, less than a 15-minute drive from the city. The base has come under indirect fire over the past several days, but apparently causing no serious damage. Meanwhile, military analysts say it would be difficult for the insurgents to break through the perimeter at the air base. They point out that ISIL would have to amass a large number of fighters, and that would make them vulnerable to air attacks by the U.S.-led coalition. Mike?
Aside from what's happening there in Iraq, there are now reports about U.S. secret raids against the Taliban in Afghanistan. What do we know about that?
Well, we can tell you that has picked up somewhat significantly over the past several weeks. And reason is really twofold. One, back in October, U.S. Special Forces got their hands on a computer that was owned by a lead Taliban officer. And that was a treasure trove of very secretive information from the Taliban. So they have been launching night raids from the information culled from that computer. Secondly, also, outgoing President Hamid Karzai was very much against the night raids in Afghanistan. He blamed them for a lot of civilian deaths. The new president, Ashraf Ghani, is very much open to these kind of nighttime raids if they're able to do something to push the Taliban out of areas that they've held for quite some time now, Mike.
All right.